Hello and welcome to Why Golf Opinion Matters. I'm Di Stewart and this is the podcast where we celebrate everything about one of the greatest sports on the planet. If you want to check out everything we have on offer, just head to thisiswhygolf.com. And for the latest episode in this series, we went on the road to Walton Heath for the AIG Women's Open. It was simply sensational. To see world-class athletes perform at the highest level is just such a treat. And Lilia Vu, she certainly won in style. Charlie Hull, the home favourite, supported by so many, not to be this year. Congratulations to the American Lilia Vu. Later on this episode, we'll hear from Sky Sports broadcaster Iona Stephen and the COO of England Golf, Richard Flint. But first, let's hear from some of the fans we bumped into at Walton Heath about why they love golf so much and what more they want to see done to grow the game.
I like the fact that it's a very free game and you can see your friends a lot.
I think it's a great sport, really calming, and it's great to see the ladies play on our course and see the way they play it and all the ups and downs.
I just like watching golf. I think because I want to be a golfer myself, that's why I like to come down and watch it all.
I used to play a lot of badminton and whatnot, and I've ruptured my Achilles tendon. And
so it's a good sport for you to play.
As I get older, you know, that kind of game is no longer available, and golf is the only thing I can do.
Amazing.
And I started at 42.
Oh wow.
I'm now 70.
I play other sports, and I always thought I'd play golf when I retired. I retired and took up golf, but really wish now that I'd taken it up at a much younger age.
I want to see it grow a lot. I want it to be a lot more popular.
I think there should be like more investment, because if anyone brings up golf, it's normally like they'll talk about the men's golf and you don't really hear much about the women's golf.
More publicity, I think it's beginning to show. So more publicity to encourage more ladies to play golf. Again, because golf takes a long time to finish, so it may be a bit tough, especially the younger women. We need to have enough spaces for crash perhaps.
Make it more accessible for women.
For young family.
Delighted to be here with Richard Flint, the COO of England Golf. Richard, great to see you. You have brought the sunshine to Walton Heath.
Fantastic, Di.
Yeah.
I can't claim that one, but it's great to be here.
Just claim it, because it was
will.
raining yesterday. Gorgeous here, it really is. These women, they are role models, aren't they? To this generation, to the next generation.
Absolutely. It's great alignment for England Golf, because this week is Women and Girls Golf Week for us. We always align it with this event.
Fantastic.
And part of the themes that we do is actually celebrating those role models, not just the best players in the world, but elite amateurs, those that actually come from a volunteer background, those that have a career within the sport, those that have just started the sport, and also celebrating the health and well-being and all of the benefits going with golf. So fantastic to be able to celebrate all of that.
There are so many benefits, aren't there? I mean, mental health benefits, physical benefits, which we talk about on our podcast all the time. Tell us about, in detail, the initiatives that you've got going here.
Yeah, well, we have something for girls called Girls Golf Rocks, which effectively introduces, love it,
yeah.
Not my title, but a great title to really bring girls into the sport. So golf clubs up and down the country are actually putting on structured sessions, taster sessions to bring girls into the sport for the first time. Coaching, real fun, exciting sessions that hopefully, if they get a taste and experience of the sport, they might want to progress, they might want to be the next great player, they might just want to play within golf clubs and membership.
Yeah, how's it going? What's the feedback been like?
Fantastic. Well, we have over 200 golf clubs. We're hoping to get between 2,000 and 3,000 participants
2,000,
this
3,000, we want more.
Maybe more.
Come
Please,
on.
golf clubs.
Yeah.
Let's keep getting on board. So the feedback's been great. Parents also involved as well, because actually parents come along, why not get involved in the sport? It's something for everyone, whatever your age, background, gender, ethnicity.
Totally. And my mum, she was massive in my sort of golfing career, so to speak. She would take me when I was 6 and 7 years old, you know, with just a knockdown 7-iron and go around the golf course, play sort of 6 holes. But she drove me everywhere. And, you know, without her, I wouldn't have got to places and I wouldn't have met a lot of my great friends now.
Golf is more accessible than it ever is. So in England we have 1,800 golf clubs, fantastic, but it's also those other facilities where beginners can start. So the driving ranges, pitch and putt, short game, crazy golf, mini golf, adventure golf. It doesn't matter. If you've got a club in your hand, having some fun, give it a go, and then actually you can progress further up.
That is brilliant to hear, actually, because do you find the feedback people say golf can be quite intimidating.
It can be. There's cost perceptions, there's time perceptions, and actually going on a full course is pretty tough for the first time. So actually, give it a go. Mini golf's great, pitch and putt, adventure golf, all of those facilities. If you're having fun, that's what it's about. If you want to then progress, we can point you in the right direction.
And I'm really competitive at mini golf.
Me
I am
too.
going through,
Me too.
you know, the tunnels. And it's great fun. I love playing with my children. Why should brands get involved?
Absolutely, trying to elevate women in sport is absolutely crucial, and particularly within golf. We should actually, from a brand point of view, lead by example and actually bring more people into the sport. So it's absolutely critical, and we can see here this week there's a number of brands involved. Let's really all collectively, one message, promote the benefits of golf to women and girls.
That's so true, because there are so many benefits, and we want eyes on the sport, don't we? And brands can promote that.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
Great stuff. Why do you? We always ask it on our podcast. Why do you love golf?
Like you, I've played golf all my life.
What's your handicap?
Well, I'm 4, index 4.
Yay, very good.
I started when I was 8, so still similar height, a little bit more hair. But my dad used to take me down the local park with a cut down 9-iron, hitting balls up and down, progress to a golf club. And I've just seen the benefits for me, my family, others within the sport. And in this role that I'm in at the moment, giving something back, being able to influence and making a real impact on the sport absolutely is at the heart of what we want to do.
Yeah. Great stuff. Thanks, Richard. Lovely to chat to you.
Likewise,
have a great.
Di.
What's your plan today? Wednesday.
Just going to have a look around at the golf a little bit, see these
Yeah.
great plays in action, and then head off home later on in the week.
Great stuff. Good to talk to you.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks,
Richard.
Di.
Cheers.
Thanks.
After we bumped into Richard Flint from England Golf and some of the fans at the AIG Women's Open, we made our way over to the first tee whilst the Pro-Am competition was taking place. There we met up with the brilliant Iona Stephen, former pro and now broadcaster, who was also the first female on-course commentator on an EA Sports game. Here's what we had to natter about. Iona, we are here at the AIG Women's Open and Walton Heath. It looks glorious. You've just walked a few holes.
I have, yeah.
Tell us impressions. You've been here before?
Yes, I actually, so I used to play golf for Surrey County, and we used to come and do a lot of practice sessions here. So I've got really good memories on a personal level. I came about a month ago to play with the current president of the golf club, Jill Thornhill, who's the most fabulous golfer. She's, multiple Curtis Cup player. She wouldn't mind me saying she's in her 80s now, still plays off a single-figure handicap.
Wow.
She won the British Amateur, so really was in some fantastic company to come down and get a flavour of how the course was ahead of the AIG Women's Open. And I'm telling you, Di, it was so different to how it is this week. It had been it was baked out.
Was it?
It looked like a burnt biscuit. It was so firm, so fast. I couldn't get the ball to stop on the green, and now here we are a month later. It's been raining a lot in the last few weeks, and it is completely different. I don't think I've ever seen so much grass at Walton Heath. It's very, very lush, thick underfoot, very soft, and of course the heather is going to be really, really even harder this week.
Were you in it a lot when you played it? I played this course once and I was just constantly, it was a battle. It was a real battle.
Listen, I was being well guided by Jill. She was telling me aim here and hit it here and don't hit it here. So I was in good hands, and thankfully not too many visits to the heather. But I was really struggling with the clubs into the greens just because it was so fast and I couldn't get the ball to stop on the green.
Yeah.
But now it's totally different. I've just been out there with the defending champion Ashley Buhai, watching her in from 15 through 18, and it's playing a lot longer. As you can tell, it's hot and the wind is there, so hopefully it will dry out a little bit.
Yeah.
But the feedback from the players so far is that it's really, really long, and because it's just so soft underneath.
Yeah, I literally cannot believe the weather yesterday. It's Wednesday, Pro-Am day, before everything starts tomorrow, 6:30 a.m, tee shot by Melissa Reid tomorrow morning, and we're sat in the first grandstand here, and you get a sense of what it's going to be like tomorrow morning at this time at 6:30. My goodness, it's an early start, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's going to be an absolutely fabulous atmosphere around this first tee, and What's
his first tee shot like?
Well, it's a tough opening hole because the second shot's where it gets really difficult. I think any opening hole, particularly at a major championship, is difficult. You've got this amphitheatre around it, the nerves are there, you're just trying to get your round underway. Thankfully, because of these conditions, I think a month ago, not many players would have been able to take the driver because it just would have been too fast and it would have run out of room down the left. Now they can take the driver and get a nice, big face behind the ball to set the day off.
Yeah. it's great to see so many fans coming through the gates and the support this week. We're hoping some of the players are teeing off right now, so my voice is just a little bit quieter. I love the sound. I love the sound of a driver on the first, but the fans were expecting thousands to come through the gates, which is brilliant. We're really trying to amplify the fact that golf is a great game to get involved in. We've been based at the Festival Village, seeing so many young children really enjoying themselves and seeing their role models here on the course.
I know, isn't it amazing? The whole reason I'm here working in golf, living, breathing golf die, is because I went to watch the AIG Women's Open at Carnoustie. That was how I got into the game.
Amazing.
And, how fabulous and how lucky I am to be able to work here at it now. But I do think it's the most brilliant thing for any young golfer or any parents that are out there wondering how they can get their kids into golf. Take them along to a live golf event, and it doesn't get any better than the AIG Women's Open. This event has been getting bigger and bigger every single year, and now this year is bigger than ever before. We've got great sort of festival atmosphere. The stands are bigger, as you say, thousands of people coming out to watch, and it's this real elevation of the women's game that we're experiencing, and it's just fantastic.
It really is, and there's a stage in the Festival Village, and I know you'll be working on it, interviewing a variety of people. I'm interviewing women in business, in sport. That's tomorrow, and we've got some incredible guests. And you mentioned also a festival atmosphere at the weekend. Ellie Goulding's going to be playing.
Yeah.
When did you ever see a huge pop star come and support a women's golf event?
I know, isn't that amazing? And how cool that it's
a real turn, aren't we?
Yeah, and it's a female pop star too, which I think is pretty cool. This real celebration of like, I don't know if I can say this on radio, but badass woman.
I love it. You can. We're definitely not cutting that out. No, it's brilliant. Tell us, Iona, because your story is really inspirational. We will be able to be louder, and now we can.
Yeah.
They've all teed off. Your story is really inspirational. Started off, you played hockey for Scotland.
Yep.
A few caps for Scotland, which is fantastic. And then changed your discipline to golf.
That's right.
And tell us about your golfing journey, if you can briefly, because I know you've got to dash off and do
no, it's all right. I'd much rather sit in the stands here and blether with you. This was lovely. I started playing golf when I was 19, so much later. Lots of people think you've got to be playing golf out the womb, really, to become a professional. And I didn't start till I was 19, but I did play a lot of sports to that point. And as you mentioned, lucky enough to play them for my country. Athletics, squash, hockey, lacrosse, anything I could play, I wanted to play it. It wasn't till I went to the Women's Open and I thought, what is this fantastic game? And
what year was that? At Carnoustie?
That must have been around, you're testing
few
me
years
now,
back.
but
No, don't worry.
Circa 2012, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Sometime in that era. And,
wow.
I hadn't played golf until that point, and you might think that you grew up in Scotland, which I did, but it just wasn't a sport that was presented to me at school. So I played what was available at school. Golf wasn't there. It came into my life later. Naturally, I fell totally in love with it, and I saw these amazing women playing at the Open, and I thought, I want to do that. That looks amazing.
That's brilliant.
Saw them with their caddies and their coaches and cool clothing on, and I thought, this is amazing. Sign me up.
Yeah.
4 years later, more or less, 4.5 years later, I did turn professional. I, as you know, came down south. I was on a scholarship programme, played for Surrey as in the county team.
So good.
Did play for Scotland in golf just once, and was really itching to get to the pro ranks, and I was catching up. So I was on, I felt under pressure, but I had this really exciting, accelerated journey into golf, and now here I am. Golf's been a part of my life, for over 10 years, and I love it more now than probably I ever did before.
What's the best part of commentating on golf? Is it in the studio, or do you like being out on the course?
Yeah, I love being out on the course. That's my favourite job of the lot. I do a lot of the different roles in the media and, the presenting, interviewing, but there's nothing better than being out there on course, close to the action, best seat in the house, and commentating live on the pinnacle of sport, and I'm so privileged to do it. Last year I was able to commentate Ashley Buhai's group right to the bitter end, and I'm out with her tomorrow. I'm commentating for Sky and the World Feed, so I'm really looking forward to that. She's playing with Lydia Ko and Rose Zhang, who's this up and coming rising star. So she's not up and coming, she's already won. So she's a real superstar.
Burst onto the scene.
A great group to follow. So yeah, I love my job, Diane. Obviously, the playing was really where my heart was at, and the injury stopped me from doing that. But to be able to be involved in golf as a woman in both the men's and the women's side of things is just a real privilege.
You mentioned the injury. A lot of people might not know. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so unfortunately, just before I turned professional, I started to experience pain in my right wrist. Quite often, it's common for injuries in wrists to be in the left side. For me, interestingly, it was in my right hand side. And I developed, I had multiple surgeries to try and fix the problem. I was kind of like a, I don't know, a dog with a bone, I suppose, and wanted to continue playing. And so I was trying to play through while getting these different treatments. And ultimately, I have stage 4 osteoarthritis in my wrist, which had, the doctors advised me to stop playing basically golf. And one doctor actually said I sadly would never swing a golf club again. The good news is I can swing a golf club again. I get to play socially.
Very well.
Yeah, and I've taken a lot of pressure off myself, and I've had to adapt my technique, change my equipment. Interesting, today I was on the tour trucks chatting to the equipment manufacturers that are here on site, and I think there isn't enough conversation around women's golf equipment. A lot of women out there, amateurs and professionals, I was a professional, use equipment that's too heavy for them, and it can lead to injuries.
Yeah.
And I have a big regret about using heavy steel clubs when really, even though I had a lot of speed and I could really hit the ball nice and hard, but as women there are different needs when it comes to equipment, and it's something that I really hope to continue being part of a conversation around. Expectations, and I think a lot of men use equipment that's too heavy as well, to be quite honest. And sometimes
is there a pressure to use equipment that's a certain weight?
I think there can be. Yeah, I think there can be. When I was playing at sort of the peak of my amateur career, I was using steel shafts that were 110 grams. So it's like a really heavy shaft. I now play with a composite shaft, which is somewhere between a graphite and a steel. So it's a really technical chat, but it's just so interesting right now.
Totally.
The things you learn. And I love being out here, the AIG Women's Open, and having a good old snoop in the bag.
I was going to say, I often see your
there?
head overlooking bags.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting because my son, his clubs were too heavy, and it was really impacting his development.
Yeah, it can, and it can really set people back, and it can obviously, worst case, lead to injury. That's the last thing you want.
Yeah.
But it can certainly affect, your club head speed, the way you swing the ball. If you look at someone like Adam Scott, he's like 6 foot tall, and he plays with a standard length men's iron. A lot of men out there that are a lot shorter, I'm 5'7", but also play with a regular length of iron.
Yeah.
Because there's this kind of expectation that I'll play with the regular set. And actually, I now play with a set of irons that are just a quarter of an inch shorter than standard.
Right.
And my game's never been so good. And I just wish these little things you learn as you go, can make a huge difference. And when it comes to equipment, specific women's equipment, and there's so many different needs in the game of golf. Nobody swings the club the same way, and we all physically come into it in a different way. Men and women, it's not really about your gender, it's more about your needs for your bespoke game. And I just think the equipment side of things is such an interesting conversation, and I continue to learn. But boy oh boy do I wish I knew what I know years ago, because it really does have an impact. So
well, life is a learning curve, as we all know. But I saw, I was watching a few clips, because the social media side of things here at the AIG Women's Open, they've done a genius job, because they're telling, the website is completely revamped, and it's just like the Open where we were a few weeks ago. And I love that. I love the fact that it's so in detail, and the clips that they're showing, get to know the players, so important. A couple of the girls, they use 9 woods, which we shouldn't be embarrassed about.
No.
If a 9 wood works for you out in the course, you go and use it.
Absolutely, and it's a great point, Diane. It's a real myth. Matt Fitzpatrick has had a 7 wood in his bag for years, and a lot of people will be aware that you do see more hybrids in the women's side of the game, but more and more we're starting to see hybrids coming into the men's side of the game. And actually these 7 woods or 9 woods, Ashley Buhai, she has a 3 wood, a 7 wood, and a 5 hybrid. That's what she carries in her bag. So I think that
you've got to find out what works for you, haven't you?
You do, and really don't make the game any harder than it needs to be. The equipment's there to make it easier, it's there to help, and ultimately that's what it can do if you pay attention and get some really good advice.
Yeah, I certainly make it difficult with this brain between my ears. I really do.
Don't we all?
I'm aware that you've got to
No,
dash
it's
very
fine.
shortly.
I'm having a great time.
But your story is really inspirational. You became the first female commentator on EA Sports. It's in the game,
Yeah.
computer games.
That's it, yeah.
You say it better than me, though. Can you say it? Go on.
It's in the game.
Oh, this is so cool. I'm just really pathetic at it. But what was that like, seeing yourself
Oh,
on
it
a
was
computer
amazing.
game?
A huge privilege, wonderful honour to be a part of that process. I think I've got 2 older brothers and I finally earned their respect. Never mind interviewing,
Tiger Woods,
the,
whatever.
the Open champion or whatever. Just the fact I was in an EA game, it was like, okay,
She's cool now.
She's pretty cool.
Come on, sibling. You
yeah.
can be involved more.
To be the first female in a golf game in that capacity as an on-course commentator was also massive, and I will say, obviously trying to do my best in my job, but I've been inspired by people like you, Di, that have been working in sport and in golf, and other women. It's that thing of if you can see it, you can believe it, and I hope that it will inspire other women who have a passion for golf that are coming after me to say, well, there's Iona, she's done pretty cool things, maybe I could do that, just like you have done for me in my career. And I think it's so important for to do the best you can at your job, and that hopefully will have an impact on people coming through.
Yeah. Oh, getting emotional. That's really kind. Here, we're seeing a change, as we alluded to at the start. How important is it that we get big brands behind women's sport?
Massive, and I would just like to say that AIG have done an amazing job of really elevating with the R&A this final major of the year, and it's such an important one. It's steeped in history, and I hope that that they've really felt the benefit of being part of such a prestigious event, and other companies that continue to get involved in women's golf. We've got the Solheim Cup this year. It's going to be a fantastic event, and it's a wonderful product. It's so exciting. You'll know that the women, the professional golfers, they're so friendly. They're really engaging. You get a lot of, if you want a crass way of saying, a commercial value from being attached and associated to the women's game, because they give a lot. And I think that people are often surprised when they come down to the likes of the AIG Women's Open how close you can get, and you can actually come down here and have a blether with the players and have a chat with them, and any big brands that want to get involved in women's sport, I think do see a great return and have a great time while being part of that process. And it's about creating change for the future, and we need big corporations to get involved, because ultimately they carry a lot of weight, and it's about creating change, and sometimes you need some big players to come in and be a part of that change.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking about at the weekend we had the Netball World Cup out in South Africa, and you need to see it to believe it. You need to see England get to a final for the first time in history. So getting that silver medal, it wasn't the goal, but it will have a ripple effect, and hopefully clubs up and down the country will be inspired by that, and we'll get some kind of injection of cash. You did a series for the R&A, linking it with the R&A, Iona Investigates, the health benefits of playing golf. What health benefits, just really quickly, have you seen?
Yeah, I mean, massive. That was obviously a really important investigative series on the back of COVID, when a lot of people were struggling both mentally and physically with their health. We all went through the mill, and being locked up for years and months on end wasn't good for anyone. No. Thankfully, some countries around the world did allow golf to continue, and the benefits of that were enormous. There was a 7-year study done by real medical professionals, and in partnership with the R&A, to try and uncover what are the mental and physical benefits of golf. And what they were able to clinically determine at the end of that study was that golfers live on average for 5 years longer than the average life expectancy. And not only that, but the quality of life you have in your later years is significantly increased. So that was quite a punchy start point. I could break it down more for you, Di, but
no, that's the headline.
That really says it all. I think one thing that I really took away from it that I feel is so important in golf, and a message that I love to spread far and wide, is that golf is a real connector of people, and it makes you feel part of something. And what we know in the UK, particularly in your later stage of life, is that loneliness is one of the biggest killers in the UK. I don't know globally, but I imagine it's much the same around the world. As you get older, you can become more isolated. And as we see people get into their later stage of life, more experienced stage of life, golf prevents them from being stuck at home on their own. And they get out, they connect, they're with their friends. If something's not right, people know straight away. I've not heard from Jane today. I've not heard from Bill today.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you start adding in the rotational aspects, the ability to stop yourself if you're going to have a fall. You start seeing these real advantages through your life. But not only the loneliness later in your life, golf came into my life at a time when I was at university and I was really feeling a bit lost, and I suddenly found myself part of this lovely community of a real multi-generational friendships that I still have to this day. And I think that lots of different stages in your life, golf can give you a real sense of belonging, and that has a profound impact, what we now know, on your mental and your physical health.
Oh, you've literally just summed up why we do this podcast, basically.
Yeah.
It's all about community and feeling part of something.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Iona. We do have 5 Clubhouse Curveballs questions, which
Whoa.
I've totally forgotten. So I
Okay.
have to pick up a piece of paper now. Right, the first question is, what snack would we find in your golf bag?
Percy Pigs.
Percy Pigs?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Other brands are available, but
Yeah.
Percy Pigs.
No, we'll go with Percy Pigs. Great answer. What would be your dream 4-ball? Who would be in your dream 4-ball?
My dad,
Oh yeah, good old dad. Oh, lovely. What's your dad called?
John.
Oh, John.
Yeah,
Great.
My dad's definitely number 1 on the 4-ball.
Yeah.
I'd like to throw Lydia Ko in there.
Yeah, not a bad
because
choice.
I'm a huge Lydia Ko fan. I recently met a most inspiring woman called Renee Powell.
I saw it on your social media.
Yeah, she's an LPGA Hall of Famer. I'm going to throw her in there.
Wow.
Because she's just the sort of energy I wish I could bottle and drink in the morning. And my 4th and final
Oh, no,
play...
you've got to be in it.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
wait.
so
No, I've
it's-
got me,
yeah,
my dad,
yeah.
Lydia Ko, Renee Powell.
Perfect.
We're off.
Can we film it?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Okay. Which golf course would it be on?
Crail.
Crail. Tell
Yeah.
us just a wee word about
Crail, one of the oldest courses in the world. James Brain design, just 4.5 miles outside of St Andrews.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to go and play it. I'm up there in
gorgeous.
October. Hopefully it won't rain. Which golf course or location is top of your bucket list to play that you haven't played?
Good question. There's so many in the UK. I've played, an embarrassingly small number of courses north of Scotland. There's some gorgeous places up there.
Nairn.
I've never. Oh no,
I've
I have
played-
played Nairn. I've
yeah.
played Nairn. Bucket list to play.
We can come back to it.
It's really
I
difficult.
know. Anything in the US, maybe?
I've never played Pebble Beach.
Yes. Oh, that's at the top of my list. Yeah.
Cypress Point also.
Yes, yeah.
Would like to play Cypress Point.
Spyglass, all that kind of area.
Yeah, but anything links. Links
Linksy.
golf is where my heart lies. So links courses around the world is really where I'd like to go and play.
Oh well, let's go and pack our bags and play like the west coast of Ireland.
Oh yes,
Let's
please.
do that. Okay. Would you rather win the Solheim Cup or the AIG Women's Open? Oh, that's a toughie.
I mean, for me, Di, it's the AIG Women's Open all day long. In my lifetime, it's my dream still to play in the Women's Open. Next year, the Women's Open goes to St Andrews, and
Oh, I've got goosebumps.
it's my dream to try and tee it up there. So
Is it?
it is, yeah. So I'm really putting in a bit of work on my own game, and I'm trying to.
Have you spoken a lot about this?
No, this is breaking,
Is this breaking news?
Yeah, this is
oh
breaking
my gosh.
news.
Thank you for sharing it with
Yeah.
us. Can we record your journey?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'll try and
Track
keep
it. I'm
myself in
sure
it.
you will.
I will. I'll try and keep it as relaxed as I can. I'm in a great headspace in my golf right now.
Oh, this is amazing.
For me, it's the pinnacle of women's, as the Open is. On the men's side of things, the AIG Women's Open for me is, and I guess as a British person, it's the home major, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I just think it's one of the greatest sporting events in the world, and to be a part of it, let alone win it, would just be
Can I
unbelievable.
interview you next year when you win it? That's just, I'm crossing fingers and toes.
I'll insist. I'll only speak to you.
only me. Sorry, I'll be your agent as well. Fab, that's an incredible goal. And finally, a question we ask all our guests: what's your drink of choice on the 19th hole?
It's a whiskey cocktail.
Oh,
Yeah, called
we've not had a whiskey cocktail yet, have
the
we?
Dramble.
No.
It's called the Dramble, and it's a little bit of whiskey and some blackcurrant kind of syrup with some
Oh.
lemonade.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I go for an old-fashioned sometimes.
Gorgeous, yeah. I do love a margarita. Don't get me wrong.
But a Dramble.
a
that
Dramble
sounds lovely.
puts me right in the mood.
You've been amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Di.
Have a great week.
Thank you.
And we're going to record you on your journey to the AIG Women's Open in St Andrews next year. Awesome. Come on, high five, girl.
High five, love
You've
it.
got this. You've got
Speak
this.
to you later in the week,
Great
Dan.
stuff. So there you go. That's what happened when we took Why Golf Opinion Matters to Walton Heath. To find more of the most up-to-date insights and research, just head to thisiswhygolf.com, where there's lots more information on all the benefits that golf has to offer. We're also on Instagram. Just search for This Is Why Golf. This is the last episode of the series, and we can't thank you enough for listening, for sharing and enjoying the chats with everyone we've spoken to over the last few months. We're looking forward to be back soon. Hit subscribe on your favourite podcast provider and you'll have the first episode of Series 2 there ready to listen to when it drops. Until then, from me, Di Stewart, it's goodbye.